Module 4. The topic of today's video is recruitment and selection. In this video, we will understand the process of recruitment and selection in organizations. First of all, we will understand the meaning of recruitment. Recruitment is the process of searching for prospective employees and stimulating and encouraging them to apply for the jobs in an organization. Recruitment involves attracting and obtaining as many applicants as possible from the eligible job seeker. It is discovering the sources from where potential employees will be selected. It is a positive process and it seeks to develop a pool of eligible persons from which most suited ones can be selected. The larger the pool, the better will be the selection process. Recruitment refers to the process of receipt of applicants from the job seekers, and it involves identifying the sources of manpower and stimulating them to apply for the jobs in the organization. Recruitment policy of the company usually covers the following things. Firstly, should the recruitment be centralized or decentralized? Secondly, it emphasizes on recruitment from inside or outside the organization. How much weightage should be given to people of other categories? It specifies the requirements such as age, qualification, compensation structure, and other services, and specifies the budget for carrying out the recruitment program. Coming to factors affecting the recruitment program. There are external and internal factors which affect the recruitment program. External factors include labor market, unemployment rate, political and legal systems in the country, and the image. Whereas internal factors may include the personnel policy of the organization, the human resource planning, the size of the firm, the cost of recruitment, and the union interface in the organization. There are some internal sources and external sources of recruitment. Firstly, we will look at the internal sources. It includes promotions within the organization, transfers, retired employees, dependents or deceased employees, job postings, and employee referrals. Let us now look at the pros and cons of internal recruitment. The advantages are: firstly, it is easier to access the candidates. Second, it is a motivation for the employees. It reduces the training time and time taken for the employee to get comfortable in an organization. It is faster, less expensive, and increases the job security of the existing employees. Coming to some disadvantages, it is insufficient internal labor supply when in growth mode. It is cumbersome procedure to ensure that all employees are treated fairly. It becomes inbred and loses in flexibility. It constrains the organization agility and its capability to adapt. Coming to external recruitment sources, there are several external recruitment sources like campus recruitment, walk-in interviews, outsourcing of employees, competitors, advertisements given in newspaper and several portals, recruitment websites, and employment exchanges. Let us now look at the pros and cons of external recruitment. The pros are: firstly, it promotes new idea generation, new skills, new viewpoints. It increases all forms of diversity in the organization, saves on training if right hires are made, allows for rapid growth, and is useful to initiate business turnaround. The disadvantages or cons is that firstly it is very expensive, can take longer time than internal recruitment. There's always the risk of hiring someone who's not successful, limits internal promotion opportunities, and can create internal morale problems. Coming to the next process, just after recruitment, is selection. Selection, we can say, is the process of picking individuals out of the pool of candidates of applicants with requisite qualification and competence to fill the jobs in the organization. It is a process of differentiating between applicants in order to identify and hire those with a greater likelihood of success in a job. There are several steps of selection process. Now, it depends upon the organization. Some may have only a few steps, whereas the larger organization may have all the steps. Firstly, we can see that applications are submitted, resumes, CVs are submitted, and we have an overview of these applicants. That means we do a first screening of the applicants which we have received. Second is the written examination. The written examination may be several types of examination may be there. Like it can be a logic test, it can be some kind of technical test, it can also be some kind of aptitude test. Thirdly, there might be preliminary interviews. Now, preliminary interviews can also be in one round or several rounds. Like a face-to-face interview, it can be a panel interview, it can be some technical interview, it can be an HR interviews. So firstly, we have a preliminary round of maybe some panel interviews, and then we can maybe have a final interview round. Usually the HR round is conducted after all the other criteria are fulfilled. The next we can see that business games or different kinds of tests like IQ test or EQ test. The final interview takes place of the selected candidates. Then they go for a medical examination to see if they are fit for doing the job. Once the medical examination is complete and the doctor certifies, the employees who are selected now will go for a reference check. The reference check is a background check conducted by the HR department for the employees who have been selected at this level. Once we see that the reference checks are correct, we offer the candidate a job. It may be in the form of an email or a written job offer. Once the employee accepts the job offer and he accepts the time of joining, he comes to the organization and joins on his date, he will be placed to the required job. Now we can see that during all these several rounds, might be many rejected applicants. So the process becomes narrow, and from large pool of applicants, it becomes to the best applicant whom we want to choose. So here this process, maybe if it is a bigger organization, then maybe we will have all these rounds and several rounds in the interview phase as well as the examination phase, whereas a small organization may not be able to afford such long interview rounds, so it may only take few of interview rounds and may not require other rounds. Thank you.